Welcome in your chemistry class. We are studying chapter 3 electrochemistry. In electrochemistry I have discussed all the types of electrolytic cells, and in electrochemical cells means galvanic cells, what is the electrode potential, what are electromotive force, and how can we calculate, how can we determine the E cell or electrode potential of the cell, and what is the Nernst equation, and how can we calculate the rate constant or value of delta G with the help of Nernst equation. In this video we will discuss about the batteries. Okay, battery. What is battery? As we have seen in torches, in remotes, in wristwatch, in wall watch, there as battery or cells are used, and inverter also is used in our homes. Okay, what are these cells, or what is the inverter? These are actually batteries. Okay, so what is battery? The combination of two or more galvanic cells is known as the battery. Okay, clear? The combination of two or more galvanic cells is a battery. Okay, these are based on redox reactions, and these are used to obtain electrical energy from chemical energy, because these are galvanic cells. Galvanic cells means in which we get electrical energy from chemical energy. Okay, batteries are of two types: primary cells and secondary cells. Primary and secondary means, primary cell means the cells which cannot be reused, as we have seen in our remotes or in wall watches or in our wrist watches. When cell is stopped their working, then we cannot recharge them, we have to throw. These are just like use and throw purpose, use and throw. But as we have seen our mobile phones, cameras, the battery is chargeable, we can recharge them by the source of electricity. So the cells which can be charged by the electricity source, that are secondary cells, and that can be recharged, cannot be recharged, these are primary cells. Okay, we will discuss both the types in this chapter. Primary cells which cannot be reused after one use are called primary cell. In these cells the chemical reaction takes place only in one direction and they cannot be recharged. Okay, example: mercury cell and tri cells. Mercury cell, which is used in the wristwatch, and dry cell, which is used in the TV remotes, in geysers, in toys, and wall watch, etc., etc. We will discuss about the structure and mechanism of these two types of cells. First of all, mercury cell. Mercury cell, it is also known as the button cell. As you have seen, just like a button, a small this shaped cell is used in wristwatch. This is known as the button cell or the mercury cell. It is used in small electrical devices like hearing machines, wristwatches, calculators, cameras, etc. Okay, this cell consists of a Zn as anode. Okay, that container which she is steel like container is shown in the cell. This is zinc container. This is acts as anode, and graphite as cathode, and the paste of KOH plus HGO acts as electrolyte, and its EMF is 1.35 volts. Okay, and to improve or to increase the voltage of the EMF, we can connect the many mercury cells in a series. Okay, see the reactions occurring in the mercury cell. At anode, oxidation takes place, so Zn will oxidized into Zn plus 2 in the form of ZNO due to electrolyte, which is OH minus ions. OH minus ions are obtained from this KOH. Okay, then ZNO or H2 and 2 electrons are removed. This is OHR, oxidation of reaction. At cathode, HGO. This HGO reacts with this H2O and 2 electrons to reduce in Hg, and 2 OH minus ions are obtained once more. Then the total reaction, OH minus ions are cancelled, H2O is cancelled, 2 electrons are cancelled, and the total reaction is Zn plus HgO is equal to ZnO plus Hg. Here Zn to ZnO, it is the oxidation half reaction, and HgO to Hg, it is reduction half reaction. This is a small cell used in our small electronic devices. Okay, second one is dry cell. This is the dry cell. It is seen in our wristwatches or toys. This is also known as the pencil cell. This is the structure of pencil cell. This is the container of zinc. It acts as a cathode, and on the surface of zinc and plastic or paper covering is present to protect it from the atmosphere. Okay, this Zn container act as anode. One graphite rod present in the mid of the container is act as a cathode. Okay, surrounding this cathode, paste of MnO2 and coal is filled. Okay, and in this space there is paste of NH4Cl and ZnCl2 is filled, which acts as electrolyte, and here a metallic cap is present to connect it from the next cell. Okay, this is anode and this is cathode. Okay, see, in this cell Zn container act as anode, which is filled with ZnCl2 and NH4Cl2 paste as electrolyte. At the center of the cell, graphite rod is present acting as cathode, which is surrounded by MnO2 plus C paste. A brass cap is present on the top of graphite rod. Okay. Now here Zn is an active metal, so it is covered by the paper or plastic covering to prevent its corrosion from the atmosphere. Okay. Now what is the mechanism of the dry cell? First of all, Zn loses its electron to oxidize into Zn plus 2. So on anode, Zn is converting into Zn plus 2 and losing 2 electrons. It is oxidation half reaction. This Zn plus 2 ion react with NH4Cl to give NH4 plus ions. Okay, and these NH4 plus ion reduces MnO2 into MnOOH. So at cathode, 2 NH4 plus ions obtained from NH4Cl plus 2 electrons, these 2 electrons plus MnO2 is equal to 2 NH3 plus MnOOH. Okay, this ammonia is obtained. This ammonia combines with the Zn plus 2 ions to make a complex. Okay, so the produce NH3 combined with Zn plus 2 ion to make a complex Zn NH3 whole 4 plus 2. So the net cell reaction will be, what will be the net cell reaction? Adding by one oxidation half reaction, this is reduction half reaction. Zn plus 2 NH4 plus 2 electrons and 2 electrons are cancelled out plus 2 MnO2. Zn plus 2 NH4 plus 2 NO2 is equal to Zn plus 2 plus 2 NH3 plus 2 MnOOH. This is the complete cell reaction. Its EMF is also 1.5 volt. And it is used in the remotes, torches, watches, etc. One most important defect of this cell is what? If defect of this cell is that there is this NH4Cl is acidic in nature. Okay, so due to this NH4Cl, the Zn container is gets corrosion, and there will be many holes in this Zn container due to this NH4Cl. Only this is the defect of this cell. Okay, clear? This is the dry cell. One more I am revising. This is the Zn container, zinc container acting as anode, and this is the graphite rod acting as cathode. The paste of MnO2 and C is surrounded over the graphite rod, and NH4Cl and ZnCl2 acts as electrolyte. Okay, this is the structure of dry cell. These are the primary cells. Now we will see the secondary cells. I have told you that the cells which can be reused after recharge again and again are called secondary cells. These cells are also known as the storage cells. Okay, if in secondary cells the reaction is reversible, that is takes place in both the direction. Okay, when reactants change into products, then battery gets discharged. then it can't be recharged by, then it can be recharged by passing electricity from a outer source, just like in our mobile phones. When mobile phone gets discharged, then we charge it by the source of electricity. So we use secondary cells in our mobile phones. Okay, now two examples have to discuss here: lead cumulative cell, or we can say lead storage cell, and nickel cadmium cell. So first of all we will discuss about the lead cumulative cell. See, this is the lead cumulative cell or inverter we used in our homes. Okay, what is this? See, this is a container in which H2SO4, aqueous solution of H2SO4 is filled. It is 38%, or we can say the density of this H2SO4 solution is 1.30 gram per ml. Okay, this is the electrolyte H2SO4 solution. PBSB grids are dipped, immersed in this H2SO4 solution. PBSB grids are filled with two materials. One is litharge and the second one is spongy lead, means PB. Half PBSB grids are filled with litharge acting as cathode, and half PBSB grids are filled with spongy lead acting as anode. This is the very simple structure of lead cumulative cell or inverter we use in our homes. Container filled with H2SO4 38%. PBSB grids are dipped. Half PBSB grids are filled with PbO2 acting as cathode, and other half PBSB grids are filled with spongy lead acting as anode. Okay. In lead cumulative cell, PBSB grids are immersed in 38% H2SO4 solution having density 1.30 gram per ml. In half of PBSB grids, litharge is filled acting as anode, cathode, and other half of PBSB grids are filled with spongy lead acting as anode. Okay, this is the structure, and most important thing about this lead cumulative cell that its efficiency is very high. 80% efficient is this cell, and its lifetime is much more, 2 to 3 years. It can be used for 2 to 3 years, and it is used in automobiles, battery of cars, tractors, truck, buses, etc., and inverters. Okay, now we will see the mechanism of the lead cumulative cell. Okay, first of all, on anode, Pb is oxidized into PbO2. This Pb, spongy lead, is oxidized into Pb plus 2, and these Pb plus 2 ions will come in contact with H2SO4 solution. Okay, so the PbSO4 will form and will be deposited in these grids. Okay, so at anode, Pb is equal to Pb plus 2 electrons, and these Pb2 plus 2 electrons will combine with SO4 minus 2 ions to make PbSO4. So the total anodic reaction will be Pb plus SO4 minus 2 is equal to PbSO plus 2 electron. This is OHR. Okay. While on cathode, PbO2 means litharge is reduced into Pb plus 2 ions and also deposited as PbSO4 on grids. So PbO2 plus 2 electrons and 2 H plus ions obtained from the H2SO4. SO4 minus 2 ions are used in the at cathode, anode, and H plus ions are used at anode, and 2 electrons removed at anode. Pb plus 2 and 2H2 are formed. These Pb plus 2 ions also combine with sulfate ions to make PbSO4. So the total reaction on cathode is PbO2 plus 2H plus 2 electrons plus SO4 minus 2 ions is equal to PbSO4 plus 2H2O. This is the reduction half reaction. Okay, so net cell reaction, anodic reaction plus cathodic reaction. 2 electrons are cancelled out with 2 electrons. 2 H plus ions here and SO4 minus 2 ions here. Okay, so what will be the reaction? Pb plus PbO2 plus 2H2SO4 is equal to 2 PbSO4 plus 2H2O. When this reaction takes place, the inverter or the battery gets discharging. Okay, when the density when the reaction takes place, the H2 is formed. So the concentration of H2SO4 get decreased. As concentration decreases, the density also decreases. Okay, clear? So when the battery is in use, the concentration of H2SO4 decreases and discharging of cell takes place. When the density of H2SO4 solution is decreases to 1.20 from 1.30. First, in starting, the density of H2SO4 was 1.30 gram per ml. Now it is decreased to 1.20 gram per ml. Then the cell is fully discharged. Now we have to charge the cell. Okay. Now at the time of charging, the reaction is inverted. Means the 2 PbSO4 plus 2 H2O is equal to, during charging, Pb plus PbO2 plus 2 H2SO4. Means the PbSO4 deposited at PbSb grades is dissolved in the solution also, and H2SO4 is concentrated now. Okay, now the overall cell reaction in lead cumulative cell takes place is as following: Pb plus PbO2 plus 2 H2SO4 is equal to, at the time of discharging, 2 PbSO4 plus 2 H2 is formed, and at the time of charging, Pb plus PbO2 plus 2 H2SO4 is formed. Okay, this is the discharging reaction and this is the charging reaction, and by this the current of 2.0 volt is obtained by the cell, and we can obtain the current up to 12 volts by connecting these cells in a series. Okay. Only one defect of lead cumulative cell is the sulfatization. What is sulfatization? As I have told you that at the time of discharging, the reaction takes place and PbO2 and Pb are converted into PbSO4, and PbSO4 is deposited on PbSb grids during discharging. Okay, on charging, this PbSO4 is not converted 100% into Pb and PbO2. Hence, some PbSO4 crystals are accumulated on PbSb grids. Due to accumulation of PbSO4, resistance increases, hence efficiency of the cell decreases. This problem is termed as the sulfatization. Okay, clear? When these grids are filled with PbSO4, then we charge the cell, and during the charging, all the PbSO4 deposited on the grids is not dissolved, and some PbSO4 crystals are deposited. The deposited PbSO4 increases the resistance and decreases the efficiency of the cell. Okay, this is the only defect of the lead cumulative cell. Clear? Now we will see the nickel cadmium cell. It is used in phones, pagers, mobiles, cameras, etc. It gives a current of 1.4 volt. It consists CD container as anode, and NiO2 as cathode, and KOH as electrolyte. Anode CD, cathode NiO2, and KOH electrolyte. Reaction at anode, CD is oxidized into CD plus 2. So oxidation takes place in the presence of hydroxide ions which are obtained from the KOH. So CdS plus 2OH minus is equal to CdOH whole twice plus 2 electrons. It is oxidation of reaction. At cathode, NiO2 get reduced due to these 2 electrons and H2O. So NiO2 plus 2H2O plus 2 electron is equal to NiOH whole twice plus 2OH minus sign. This is reduction half reaction. The total cell reaction, 2 electrons are cancelled, 2 OH minus ions are cancelled. So the net cell reaction will be CdS plus NiO2S plus 2H2O is equal to CdOH whole twice and NiOH whole twice. This is the reaction during discharging. When the cell gets discharged, charging takes place, and during the charging, the reaction is reversed. Okay, so on charging, the reaction is reverted. Hence, we can write the overall reaction just like lead cumulative cell: CdS plus NiO2S plus 2H2 during charging, and here in backward direction it is charging: CdOH whole twice plus NiOH whole twice. So these are the secondary cell, two types, lead cumulative cells and NICD cells. One more types of cells are also present, that are known as fuel cells. These are the fuel cell based on fuel. Fuel means the matter which gives us energy by combustion or by oxidation. Okay, so we get some cells in which the chemical energy of fuel is converted into electrical energy due to combustion or oxidation. Okay, these are fuel cells. We are taking example of H2O2 fuel cell. Very simple, very easy cell, H2O2 cell. There is a cell. This is divided into three compartments by the porous wall. This porous wall can be of carbon or titanium. Okay, this due to this porous cell, the cell porous walls, the cell is divided into four parts. Here one part is filled with H2 gas, okay, acts as anode. The other outer part is filled with O2 gas, acts as cathode, and middle part concentrated NaOH or CkOH solution is filled, which acts as electrolyte. Okay, this is the simple structure of the H2O2 cell. See, in this cell, two porous electrodes of carbon or titanium are present, which divide the cell into three compartments. The anodic part, in anodic part H2 gas is filled, while O2 gas is filled in cathodic part, and KOH or NaOH solution is filled in middle part as electrolyte. Okay, now what is the mechanism of the fuel cell? The following reaction takes place at anode. 2H2 hydrogen will oxidized into H plus ions. So 2H2 is equal to 4H plus 4 electrons, and 4H plus ions react with 4OH minus ions which obtained from the electrolyte, and 4H2 are obtained. So the total anodic reaction will be 2H2 plus 4OH minus is equal to 4H2O plus 4 electrons. This is oxidation of reaction. At anode, oxygen will be reduced, so O2 will get these 4 electrons to make 2 oxide ions. These 2 oxide ions react with H2O to make OH minus ions. So the total cathodic reaction will be O2 plus 2H2O plus 4 electron is equal to 4 OH minus ions. This is reduction half reaction. Okay, now we will obtain net cell reaction by adding these two reactions. 4 OH minus ions are cancelled with 4 OH minus ions. 4 electrons are cancelled with 4 electrons, and 2 H2Os are cancelled with 2 H2O. So 2 H2O will be obtained. So the net cell reaction will be 2 H2 plus O2 is equal to 2 H2O. Clear? This is the simple, very simple reaction to obtain H2O. The very important thing about this cell is that the product is H2O in this cell. This is no any waste, no any pollutant. This is very useful thing for us. Okay. The potential of H2O2 fuel cell is 1.299. We can say about 1.3 volts. Energy up to 1 kilowatt. It is very important thing. Energy up to 1 kilowatt can be obtained by connecting the required number of cells in a series. The current up to these too much energy can be obtained only by this cell, not any other lead cumulative cell or nickel cadmium cell or dry cell or by mercury cell. Okay, CH4, C2H6, C2H4, C3H8. These smaller organic compounds can also be used in fuel cell in place of H2 gas. No any waste product is formed in this cell. This fuel cell was used in Apollo space program. This is very important. Space programs. This is used in Apollo space programs to get electrical energy, and these are very useful in the transmission of the TV programs also. This is the importance of the H2O2 fuel cell. Okay, very clear. H2O2 fuel cell importance. This is the structure of fuel cell. Very simple structure. In mid, QH solution is filled. Here H2 gas, here O2 gas. This is anodic part, this is cathodic part, this is electrolytic parts, and formation of H2O takes place in the cell by this mechanism, where oxidation takes place, reduction takes place, and the total oxidation reduction is